Good morning. Welcome to Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuksa. The interview process that we're going through is to share with you guys interviews from people that have found opportunities or saw a problem that needed to be solved and decided to take the path to opening a business or running a business, have taken over a business, all of those types of things, and some of the struggles and successes that they've had. I want to share with you guys all of these opportunities. One, because these people are pretty amazing. The fact that they even wanted to jump out and try something, no matter what, is really pretty exciting. And then to share with you their struggles, because we all have struggles. We all have a lot of self-talk that sometimes can be good and sometimes can be bad. And I love being able to share their stories with you so that you can see that it goes through all of our different processes. So I hope you guys are having a fantastic morning. And this morning, I'm so excited to introduce you to a lady I just recently met, Shweta. This lady has opened her own wellness skincare product line, and she has a really cool story I want you guys to hear. So Shweta, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks, Connie, for having me.
Absolutely. I really appreciate your time.
I appreciate it too.
Very good. So Shweta, tell us a little bit about you. Tell us where you started, why you decided to start something, how it evolved a little bit, because I know your business has changed as you've gone through the process, and then share with us where you are right now and how you got there.
So, I basically started my business in 2018 of May, which is just about the time when I started. And it was a very unplanned route that I took. So with all that said, I started as I came out of school, of an aesthetic school in 2017. I graduated in 2017.
Okay.
And I worked with a bunch of businesses. So, trying to make a career.
So you went to school for an esthetician school and learned how to do that. But before that, or maybe after, you went through fine tuning some of those pieces. So you went to school and then you got out of the school and decided to start doing skincare. And then you went through some processes to fine tune into some specialties, if I understand that correctly. Tell us a little bit about that, how that worked, why you did that, and what those are about.
So, sorry, this is my first time I'm interviewing, so I'm a little nervous, and I prepared some notes, but I don't seem like it's working for me. All right, so talking about, I did graduate in 2017. I became an esthetician, and that was something that I think I always have wanted to go that route. It's like a dream come true. When I was young, I ended up in a business school that was not really my forte, but being an esthetician, I can see myself being, out and about, offering hands-on services to my clients versus sitting on a desk 9 to 5. That was just not me. I had a big lifestyle change that was coming along in 2020, between 2016 and 2018. There was a lot of things that was going through. I had to figure out a career, and that's when I made a turn to. I had to basically reverse my entire life from stay-home mom to a housewife. Being, for 18 years, I reversed completely into going into a career, setting up some new ideas for myself, and coming out of school, it was great. I was very, very excited. Now I finally have my esthetician license and I'm getting ready to work. But there were some, unfortunately, I would say some cons for me in my book, where I wasn't very pleased with the chemicals that were used in the service industry. A ton of chemicals, and our products that are designed to help us rejuvenate and give that happy, healthy looking skin are made with animal products. And it just, some of those things were not very well digesting into my system. But I remember growing up, following the Ayurvedic lifestyle, in India, this is one of our holistic way of treating and uniting with the mind, body, and spirit to balance, for balancing and for longevity of your life.
Nice.
So that's when I went, turning my clock back. I was making some research. I wanted to see how I could bring that into my practice and make it a fusion. So not just be an esthetician that got a license in United States, but make a fusion. And that idea was going in my head. That's when my phone rings. And I mean, this is all like, doing research and things like that. My phone rings and it's one of my very old friend that we did henna together. So I'm also a henna artist as a hobby, but then I changed it into profession. So I'm a professional henna artist, and I decided to go. So she called me, and we were chatting. What's going on? That's when she's like, "Wait a second, I have something for you. After knowing what you're doing and what you're researching, I know somebody who can be just a perfect fit." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So she mentioned about this person who has a background in he's a microbiologist. He's a scientist by profession, and he has made some awesome formulation for many other companies out in the market. These are small companies. We are not talking like, I can't even think right off the bat, like Estee Lauder or somebody. We're not talking MAC and Estee Lauder. We're not talking those people. We're talking some decent companies that really truly has some great products, and they're small businesses.
Okay.
But he has some awesome formulations, and so she introduced me. And when we talked and chatted, definitely, financially to come up with that kind of source was not very easy, but at the same time, because having my friend as a mediator, it made certain things easy. And so in 2018, I ended up launching 7 products.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I always when I think about it, I'm like, Earth Radiance Organic Skincare was not my vision coming out of school. Right. Maybe in future, but not at the moment. So it's a fluke that has happened, but that allows me to feel confident in my service. That allows me to be confident and passionate in what I am offering, because my goal is to bring clients to a place of holistic wellness, of beauty and beauty services, or of beauty products and spa therapies. Creating a safe environment for them, creating an environment that they're confident that they're not going through any chemical process.
That's fantastic. And so, yeah, that's exactly what I wanted you to tell us all about that story, because it's so cool. It's so cool because you thought being an esthetician was exactly where you wanted to be and what you wanted to do. And then you went to school and said, okay, I really like this, but I don't necessarily like all of the products, and how am I going to make that change? And you integrated things from a different part of your life into that, which is what makes your business so individualized. I love to talk to entrepreneurs, and we talk about this fact that, there may be 1,000 estheticians in, a 4-state radius here, but the thing is, none of them are like you. And so what you found is that you saw something really different. You really had a passion about it, and you figured out how to make it work. And it's really cool in such a small period of time that you've made this pivot so successfully. Things fell in the right places. But magic doesn't always just happen. I mean, you obviously had the right connections with the right people. You had the right vision about it, and you knew what you wanted to do for the people that you're working for. So that's really cool. And I love that you shared that story. So what I can see too is one of the questions I love to ask is about your superpower, or, when I talk about that, I mean, what's the thing that you're really good at that sets you apart, but also what's the thing that makes you really happy, that, when you're doing your business, what is it that makes you say, oh my gosh, this is why I love doing this, or, makes the hair on your arm stand up? And clearly I can see in your conversation, where I think that is. But talk to us a little bit about that. What makes you just so happy about what you're doing when you're working with your clients?
Yes, I definitely enjoy the route that I took. And I also feel fortunate and blessed today that I have a beautiful product and a beautiful service that I have to offer.
Mm-hmm.
I do have a small little thing that I do want to share with my folks who are watching this today and in future, that I personally do experience a lot of sensitive skin. I have, some eczema issue, plus I have used products from the Clinique and Estee Lauder brands. I personally had experience, especially, I don't want to call out the name, but I have used certain brands in the past before I was an esthetician. And I have experienced a lot of sensitivity to my skin. I have experienced where my skin broke out and I never had a breakout in my life. I got those breakouts through using products, and then my skin looked like as if something like just burnt my skin. So at the time, I didn't understand why it happened, but today, getting more involved and being more closer to products, I definitely, it's the chemicals. It's because that's causing it, and so that's what I think I want. I try to send that message out to my clients and to other, folks. That's the passion I have, that understand what you're putting on your skin. Yeah. If you cannot eat it, then you should not be wearing it. So I also have that passion that I want to pass it along.
Nice.
And yes, I like.
Yeah, it's very clear. So tell us about your products that you have. Are they products that you only use in your wellness and esthetician business, or do you actually sell your products too? And what products did you actually develop? Meaning, what are they for? You have 7, which is wonderful. So tell us about them a little bit.
So today I have altogether 12 products. Yes. I recently just launched my sun protection. I do not call it SPF like a lot of other brands call it. I call it as a UV protection because it's protecting you from the UVA and UVB rays without blocking your vitamin D, which is the most important concept of my sun protection. Not only you're using all natural ingredients, but you're also getting that vitamin D. I'm just like rethinking about it. Okay. So talking about my products, my 12 products are basic products that everybody needs on a daily basis. Those are your cleanser, your moisturizer, your anti-aging moisturizer, a serum, things like that. And so I have 1 of each versus 10 of each because my products are very multitasking. They're working on the cellular level of your skin, and they're designed to do what your skin is asking. So in Ayurveda, it's a tridoshic line versus a line that is accommodating different skin type. My products accommodate your skin.
Nice. Okay. Very good. Yeah. Now, do you sell your products commercially, or do you only use them within your service?
I use my products. I sell my products commercially online on my website. Okay. I'm also looking to wholesale opportunities, as well as I use it in my spa services.
Right. Very good. Very good. Now, is your spa well, obviously not right now. They can't walk into the spa, but is that a brick and mortar location, or do you have, do you go to people directly? How does that actually work?
So talking about with the situation, just getting ready to open starting Monday, June 1st, the opening. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that. And my services, I am right now renting space with 2 different locations in Annapolis. One is at Soleil Spa in Soleil salon and day spa on Harry S. Truman Parkway.
Okay.
And the other one is at Full Circle Healing Center, Ridgely Retreat Avenue.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not good with it.
Okay, I was just trying to get some information so people watching can know where to find you. That's great. So let's go back to the business side of this a little bit, because now you went to school to be an esthetician, and then you decided that you needed to fine tune your business to use products that were safe for people's skin, that don't have chemicals in them. And then you decided to launch your own product line instead of using something that might have already been on the market. So now you've got another segment of your business, and now you're not only using those products in your business, but you're also selling them and negotiating other options for maybe wholesale. So you have lots of different business models going on here, which is really cool. Might be a little overwhelming in such a short period of time, but so tell us how long you've had your product line out there, and maybe some of the struggles early on as you were thinking, yeah, I want to do this, that maybe some of the things that you didn't anticipate were going to be struggles that you had.
I think I am still not understanding what are the struggles, but the most important struggle that I see, because
it happens. It'll keep happening.
I mean, I wasn't planning to launch my own line of products. I wasn't planning with what to expect and how to start a business. What are the things to consider? Need to have a tax ID number and things like that. So all that has been a very challenging. Not every day is a learning for me. It's literally every day it's a challenge. I am not sure what to expect. And something new comes my way, but it's overwhelming, but I think I'm handling it to make it successful and to bring it to people to market through some vegan shows, yoga shows. Those are right now the approaches that I've taken. And I have built a good number of people in last 2 years that are my repeat clients.
Great.
So I'm looking to grow more.
Very good. So when you say you've gone through a lot of different struggles, I mean, haven't we all? That's part of it. And it's part of why I'm doing this series, is because I want people to see that it does happen. So when you first started and you said I had to get a tax ID number and you weren't even thinking about that, how did you even find out you had to do it? I mean, I think that's one of the things that people just don't know is, gosh, I've got to pay taxes. I've got to rent a space. I have to read a contract about renting that space. I have, maybe have employees, but you also run into a lot of other things. And, when you're talking about just paying income taxes, you also have to pay sales and use tax and things like that. So how did you find out, how did you get through some of those pieces, knowing you obviously found out somewhere that you had to do those kinds of things? And so give us some of those, some of those steps went for you, because I think there's a lot of people out there listening that probably don't know these things too. And maybe even somebody who's running a business that doesn't know that they need to have some of these things, which is a real possibility. So that's one reason I love you sharing it. I appreciate it.
So talking about the tax and sales tax, right, I had no clue how to do that. And all I know is that I have to pay taxes because I was collecting taxes from people. So I went searching. I talked to a couple of friends that had businesses or had had some knowledge, and they gave me some tips and ideas where to go look. And one of the places, definitely you Google it, Maryland tax, sales tax and use, and it pops the website. So in my case, I personally went to Baltimore to the Maryland tax and use sales office. I got myself registered there. It's just like going from desk to desk asking, and they are like, okay, it's on the 3rd floor, it's on the 4th floor, so I did the whole day field trip. So I could,
right.
That way I know what I was doing. I understand what I was getting myself into. And that's why I did it, because I think I could have hired a CPA, and I think that could have helped. But but I've not been getting luck on finding, certain people that
Mm-hmm.
are that helpful in, creating a steady financial flow chart.
Right,
Uh,
right. So this is interesting because you brought up that you reached out to friends who had also owned businesses. I mean, that was a start because you knew, a lot of people are afraid to ask for help, afraid to ask for, somebody else's thoughts. When you run a business, you're supposed to know it all. At least that's what we all mistakenly think. And so you weren't afraid to reach out to some friends and say, hey, you've done this. How do I do this? And got the information and then sort of stumbled through it as you went along, which is fantastic. And I appreciate you sharing that because that can get a little tricky and sometimes difficult to ask those questions, But the other thing I wanted to hit on as you said that was you asked friends for advice. And so clearly you knew that there was a lot of things you didn't know. And so you started talking to people that had already done it and got their information and their feedback. And so tell us about some other things that you maybe didn't know that obviously your one friend introduced you to a biologist, which is amazing because that probably wasn't initially in your plan, but some other things that maybe you felt like you just didn't know and that you reached out to some friends or, some of these colleagues that knew some of these answers because they were already doing it.
So this was a saying that I heard from another professional. Mm-hmm. I put a cart before I put a horse, and I will never forget what she said because that's true that I did put a cart before I put a horse in front. And I talked to my my instructor, the school that I went to, and I got my aesthetic license. I talked to her. She said, it's okay if you got the products. Now you just have to find a place. So that had been a major struggle, which I think I'm still in that period where I'm struggling to find a good, stable place. Because another that you talk about, I didn't realize that I knew I need a place to work, but I didn't realize that it would be so difficult that having your own line, people would not just bring you in. Because okay. It's the whole thing is people know Dermalogica, people know Image, people know Yonka. So they want to go to places that are known for the products.
Gotcha.
And if you getting hired as an esthetician at a certain spa, they also do want to see what kind of line you have experienced. And my line, already coming out in 2017, my experience has been very small. And then in that, I put a cart in front of me versus right. So that's all that is a major struggle. That is a lot of struggle. I also had. Like I said, the struggle is still going on. Sure. So at this point, at least I'm trying to find a place where I could offer my services, and I'm right now blessed that Full Circle Healing Center and Solace Spa and Day, Solace Salon and Day Spa, mm-hmm. They have found something that interests them.
Nice.
And they're bringing me on board with my own line of products, so that helps.
That's because very interesting. I mean, who would have thought that you had this great passion for providing natural skincare that didn't have chemicals in it, but that you going in and doing your esthetician business, if you were using your own products, it didn't have any rating experience or whatever. And so of course that represents on their particular spa. And so that's an interesting struggle. But I think a lot of people could relate to that, putting the cart before the horse thing. I mean, a lot of entrepreneurs do just sort of jump in, start running with it before they even know what they're doing, right or wrong. And so you're just backfilling some of those pieces that you didn't know that you had to have set up. So that's really interesting and a good story. I appreciate you sharing that. That's really interesting.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about how this whole shutdown has affected you, because obviously you were ready to go. You have products to sell, and have you made some changes, some things that you had to address differently, or have you been working on positioning yourself coming out of this So you're ready. You've got these things set up and you're all ready to go when things open on Monday.
So I think I focused a little bit more on how to do email marketing because that was my downfall. I worked on that. And I noticed some of my clients that disappeared came back, or some clients who had seen me, but, hesitated or wasn't ready at the time to invest. They have put orders. So I think that has given me more confident that people do like you, not me, the products. They do love Earth Radiance. They have shown tremendous love towards Earth Radiance. They have shown, they have inspired me, and they have told me to not give up.
Yeah.
Keep up with what I'm doing. And I have also got some text messaging from some of the clients that are like, put us on the book the minute you open. So they are looking forward to those services. My services are far different to compare with my other SC. I love them. They just do as fabulous of a job, but I have created my own menu of services. They are very customized menu. They have a lot of authentic ingredients and authentic and ethnic touch in my services.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they're very healing. So yeah,
that's fantastic. So, I mean, so many great pieces here, and I really appreciate you sharing all of that because this is a really raw entrepreneurial story, guys. I mean, this is exactly what this is about. This is somebody who saw something that they really wanted to do. She wanted to be an esthetician, but she also realized that she really needed to, do these things without the chemicals, and met somebody. I mean, I'm just astounded as we're talking it. This is just such a cool story. Met somebody, started creating her own products, and then said, okay, now what do I do? How do I put all this together? And you've been able to go back and pull it all in together into one nice bow. And obviously people are following you. Obviously people see it. And then while things are, sort of shut down and you don't have the opportunity to get your own place and get things set up, you taught yourself yet another piece of the business that you needed, the email marketing. So really very just refreshing, raw story. I really appreciate the information that you shared here. So do tell us, is there any, do you have any specials, anything about your products that you want to talk about real quick, or any nonprofit or kind of personal thing that talks to your heart that you're working on? Is there anything like that that you want to share with everybody today?
So knowing this was a Memorial Day weekend that we just passed, I had put out, I had put out a special where if any of my clients, they want to thank their frontline supporters, the little magnesium bottle, the mini magnesium bottle that I have, I'm usually sells for $15.99. I was selling it for $12. I may be a little off by a number, but about $12, and they can buy it for them, and I would ship it directly without charging any shipping.
Nice.
So if they are willing to, if they want to do that for their frontline supporters, that's what I had. I also had some specials running for my skincare products. I had my anti-aging renewal kit, which was $150, that offered 2 free products.
Nice.
And talking about what else I did for the shutdown was I brought in mini size. I never had a mini size because my products don't do any preservatives, so I never had a samples. And there were many a times that people are like, do you have samples or do you have a small size? I was like, I'm sorry, because of so and so I can't, but I think I worked on that, and that way now I also have mini sizes of my cleanser, my everyday moisturizer, and the magnesium cream. That allows them to buy small size to try it out.
Nice. Well, look how you're growing as well from the necessity that people are asking for. That's fantastic. So if somebody wants to find you after today, how do they know how to get in touch with you?
They can always visit me on my website, which is www.earthradiance.com. On Instagram, they can reach me. It's Earth Radiance with number 5. Okay. It's the 5 elements. So that's where the 5 comes from. Okay. And they can certainly reach me by my phone, Facebook direct message. Awesome. So yeah, my Facebook, my personal is Shweta Lengade. It's SHWETA and last name LENGADE. My phone number is 301-672-3944. They are always welcome to reach me anytime. I'm here to help them and support anybody that is looking to find some good, healthy looking products.
That's fantastic. And when we're finished, Shweta, will you please just add in the comments below our video, your website, your email address, and your phone number if you want to. That way anybody can click right on it too in case they missed. And I just can't thank you enough. This has been so interesting and so much great information. And I appreciate you sharing your struggles and the information about your business and how it grew, because it's been a phenomenal story. So I really appreciate your time today.
Thanks again. I hope I enjoyed it too. Thanks for having me. This is fantastic.
Yeah, this was wonderful. Guys, so we are going to share it. It's obviously streaming live on YouTube. If you missed any part of it or you want to go back and check things out, go to my YouTube page, Connie Fuksa, and subscribe to the YouTube page, because in that way you can rewatch this video, but you can also see any of the other interviews we've been doing and ones that are coming up. You'll be able to catch those and it'll notify you. You can also go to my website, ConnieFuksa.com, where you can see the interviews. You can also check out other information that we have available, how we work with entrepreneurs and help them share their stories and all of their expertise to be able to help their customers better understand all the information they know about what they do for a living. So it's been my pleasure to introduce you to Shweta today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into Entrepreneurial Live Interviews with Connie Fuksa. I look forward to seeing you guys again real soon. Thank you.
Thank you again.